Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your Saturday morning slam superstars, WWE main event and SmackDown. And here we go with the show. Normal, some news, and thanks to Alexander Fritz, who attended Monday's Raw show in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and sent the following report for what happened after Raw went off the air. John Cena was left laid in the ring selling the rock bottom that he took, and the crew came out to change the mat and remove all the Q&A questions that was and the podiums that were in the main event of Raw. The Shield's music then played, and they made their entrance through the crowd and surrounded the ring and started to attack Cena. When the music hit for Sheamus and then Ryback to even up the odds, then they started a six-man tag main event, dark match main event. John Cena, Ryback, and Sheamus defeated the Shield by disqualification as normal. Seth Rollins used a chair after about 8 minutes in or so for the disqualification. Ryback and John Cena hit the finishers on Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose to send the crowd home happy. And also, other notes from Raw, Undertaker got one of the biggest pops of the night when his gong hit. I think most people were expecting him to make his full entrance and popped big when they realized he was actually in the ring. And CM Punk had a decent pop when he first came out, but then transitioned into the boos once his promo started. The crowd was definitely dead for The Miz versus Wade Barrett, because everybody was expecting Ric Flair to come out. A few people tried to even get behind The Miz, but nobody really cared about either of them in Philadelphia. Triple H got a huge pop as well, as a reporter was definitely expecting it to be a longer promo, but most of the crowd was still into it. During a break, Wade Barrett was on the mic briefly trying to get heat, which he did to some extent, but it died real quickly. Bret Hart definitely got one of the biggest pops of the night, along with the other Hall of Famers, but Rock blew them out of the water with his pop. That's how it came across where I was sitting, at least according to the reporter. Cena got a good amount of cheers, but it transitioned into the more boos than it was cheers from what the reporter could hear, and they were not happy when he mentioned Donovan McNabb. Overall, a good night at Raw for the reporter. The crowd was happy to cheer big when they had a reason to. Other than that, nothing, nada, zilch. And the moment of the night, according to the reporter, when John Cena was making his entrance, I, like many others, was booing while I was doing so. The 6-year-old next to me turned to me and looked at me in disgust and yelled, "Cena is awesome!" Well, here's a second report from Mike DeMora, who attended Raw in Philadelphia, and said this following report of what happened after the TV show went off the air, and just reported on the dark match main event. Sheamus, Ryback, and Cena defeated the Shield by disqualification. Typical dark match that lasted until Seth Rollins hit Ryback with a chair, although it was botched because Ryback acted like he didn't feel it. It was a dark match, so it doesn't matter anyways. After the chair shot, three faces performed their finishers to send the crowd home happy. That was a different point of view from the fans, because all three performed their finishers when the other ones had only two of them. Ring of Honor regular Mike Mondo celebrates his 31st birthday. He was born March 26th, 1983. Former WWE WWF star Sylvan Grenier turned 36 years old today. He was born March 26, 1977. The following matches are listed for the 11 p.m. Central Time airing of the AWA on ESPN Classic, which I watched halfway through the first part of it. Kent Carlson versus the Trooper. Jim Evans versus Psycho. Tom Bennett versus Scott. The Destruction Crew was the main event. Mike Enos and Wayne Bloom versus DJ Peterson and Rick McCord. Rick McCord looks like a jobber to begin with. It kind of looks like a Ricky Morton from the Rock and Roll Express. And they were announced as the as former Central States champion. Don't know where that's at. The following matches were listed for the 12 a.m. airing of the AWA on ESPN Classic. Trooper versus Tokyo Bullet. Mike George versus The Menace. Nikita Koloff versus Jones. DJ Peterson and Rick McCord versus Tom Bennett and Kent Carlson. That match I don't think I remember seeing. Johnny Stewart versus Tony DiNucci. Don't remember seeing that one, but I think Tony DiNucci won that match. Nikita Koloff won his match. Mike George defeated The Menace. And the Trooper defeated Tokyo Bullet. In the main event of the previous one, it was the Destruction Crew, better known as the Beverly Brothers from WWF. They defeated DJ Peterson and Rick McCord, of course, with a leverage pin. Jim Evans defeated Psycho from the Texas Hangman. And Kent Carlson, like I said, I don't remember seeing that match. Later on in the show, the Trooper did come out. But don't remember. It was more like the second showing, I think. Yeah, it was the second showing. Well, anyways, Tom Bennett versus Scott, don't really know. Well, that was it for the AWA on ESPN Classic. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, John Laurinaitis makes his return to WWE TV on this Friday's episode of SmackDown, taped in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Laurinaitis returned by interrupting The Rock's promo to kick off the show. He revealed that Teddy Long gave him permission to come out. Laurinaitis mentioned John Cena was the reason he got fired from WWE and he wanted to be in The Rock's corner at WrestleMania 29. Rock ended up shaking hands with Laurinaitis, laid him out with the spine buster rock bottom and a people's elbow. Thanks to Wrestling Inc. readers at the Jack Adams and Donald Wood from Ring Rust Radio for sending in the results from Raw taping from Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania for Superstars. Kofi Kingston defeated Primo. Natalya defeated Oksana with a sharpshooter. I got a little bit more detailed report from a different website. I think it was LordsOfPain.net. Jared Moore and Alexander Fritz attended Monday's WWE Raw TV show and set the following results from Superstars taping. Kofi Kingston defeated Primo. Kingston won a well-wrestled match in roughly 10 minutes. Natalya beat Oksana. Match went about 5 minutes. That's all your details on that one. Okay. This is an official title for WWE's upcoming War Games DVD. Not much more than that. WWE War Games. WCW's most notorious matches. Baltimore Ravens Torrey Smith was backstage at SmackDown's tapings in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Hey, I wonder if I can get a chocolate bar. Jeremy Heddenberg, Michael Kinney, and Aaron Jumper were at SmackDown tapings in Hershey. And we're sending updates on the WWE Saturday Morning Slam taping. And I guess I get no chocolate bar. Josh Matthews and Kofi Kingston were on commentary. I guess. That's never mind. Justin Gabriel and Zack Ryder in match number 1 defeated Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal with Heath Slater in the corner. Huge pop for Ryder. Mahal and Gabriel started it off. Ryder tagged in and he and Gabriel hit a double hip toss on Jinder. Drew got tagged in and hit a couple of power moves on Ryder. In the end, McIntyre rolled up Ryder with a handful of tights for the win. Oh, 3MB won instead of the of the match, misquoted, but this may be why. After the match, Kofi hit a slingshot on 3MB. Mick Foley came out to a very big pop and said he cannot have a commentator getting physically involved in matches. So he said Kofi was out of the booth and into the match with Heath Slater. So you got a special match. You had three matches instead. Before the match, Dolph Ziggler came out for commentary to a mixed reaction for more cheers and boos. Well, okay, Kofi defeated Heath Slater. Kofi hit a rolling hip toss, reverse of Slater's hip toss. Kingston applied the armbar and kept Slater grounded for a little while. Slater came back with a shoulder block, but Kingston came right back with a flying elbow. Slater came back with a weak-looking super kick. Then Kofi can't started picking up, and Slater applied an arm wrench. Slater transitioned to a surfboard bow stretch. Kingston came back with a crossbody and a few chops with a flying clothesline. The boom dropped and finished it with the SOS. Match number 3, your main event. Mark Henry defeated Daniel Bryan. The Borgasm chants picked up immediately. Bryan wanted a hug. Henry gave him a bear hug. Henry missed a splash and took a powder. Henry was met with a series of kicks and a corner drop kick upon returning to the ring. After a few more kicks, Henry took control with a clothesline. Bryan went for top rope crossbody, but Henry caught him and hit the World's Strongest Slam for the win. And that concluded your, I guess your main event. The Saturday Morning Slam results. And the same reporters, Jeremy Heddenberg, Michael Kinney, and Aaron Jumper, for your main event taping results. Match number 1, I think this was a dark match. Ted DiBiase defeated Bray Wyatt, and I have been corrected. Bray Wyatt is another character for Husky Harris, who is now playing a Waylon Mercy gimmick and cuts a poor promo. And that DiBiase won with a schoolboy roll-up. A WWE main event taping. Michael Cole came out to weird new music. Match number 1, Kane defeated Antonio Cesaro in a non-title match. Daniel Bryan sat on commentary. The crowd was into the match with USA chants. AJ came out and tried to cause a distraction, but Kane reversed the neutralizer and won with a chokeslam. A solid match with plenty of European uppercuts that landed Borgasm chants. Wow. My say on this is Antonio Cesaro lost another non-title match. So how many people have defeated him in non-title match? That should be making it a title match shot. List your top 10 on your comments. Sheamus was interviewed by Matt Striker, and he said, if he, Randy Orton, and Big Show could be on the same page for one night, the Shield would be in for the fight of their lives. Brodus Clay and Tensai, Sweet Tea by one commentator, came out and are now going by Tons of Funk. A new tag team name. Match number 2, the Bellas beat Cameron and Naomi, as the Bellas won with a sloppy schoolboy roll-up following a distraction by Cody Rhodes and his mustache. And that ended your main event taping. Spoilers. SmackDown comes out. SmackDown spoilers for 3/29/2013. JBL came out to a good pop, followed by Lillian Garcia. The Rock's music hit, and the building literally started to shake. My God, what an ovation. There were loud Rocky chants that picked up after the music stopped. Rock held up a Hershey bar to a big pop. That's supposed to be my Hershey bar that I've been requesting. Funny, Rock talked about how he lived an hour away in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. He showed a picture of himself when he was 15 and had a Cody Rhodes style mustache. He did finally routine. Rock said tonight is the first sold out WWE event in Hershey in a decade. He told us the origin story of Candy Ass. That was awesome. Rock said he's going to beat Cena at WrestleMania. This led to boos. And to Cena sucks chants, the Rocky chants, it was a very pro-Rock crowd in that respect. Rock started his Millions routine when he was interrupted by John Laurinaitis. Johnny Ace Laurinaitis. John Laurinaitis, if you don't remember his voice. Which drew huge heat and you-suck chants. Rock said tonight is the first sold out. Okay, I already said that. My screen just started shaking and going backwards. Okay. Rock asked who in the blue hell he was. Laurinaitis said, there were two peas in a pod. Rock is the people's champion and Big Johnny started people power. He offered to be in Rock's corner at WrestleMania. Rock polled the crowd for what he should do. No chance ensued. Rock hit the spine buster rock bottom and the people's elbow to a monster pop. Rock said that at WrestleMania, Cena was getting his candy ass beat again. And Rock posed for a bit and then left. Match number 1, Chris Jericho defeated Intercontinental Champion Wade Barrett in a non-title match. Okay, Jericho came out for his match to a big pop. Wade Barrett was out next to relative silence. What a shame and a waste. Barrett hit a shoulder block on Jericho, who responded with chops and a clothesline. Barrett came back with punches and a headbutt. Barrett whipped Jericho in a corner and hit a boot to Jericho that sent him to the outside. Jericho continued to getting punished, and Barrett cut off a comeback with a stiff back kick to the midsection. In the end, Jericho hit the code breaker for the win. After the match, Fandango made his full entrance to the ring, followed by "You Can't Wrestle" chants. Fandango said nothing and danced back to the back. Paul Heyman was interviewed by Josh Matthews, and Heyman said it is a must-lose situation for Triple H. The Ryback Mark Henry bench press challenge was up next. Booker T and Teddy Long came out to introduce the contestants. There were huge Phoebe Ward chants for Ryback. Henry came out for some decent heat. Booker said if they get physical, they will be banned from WrestleMania. And this segment sets a world record for NFL. Henry won a coin toss to start when he went first. Okay, well, this was the poundage was a little bit different because if you put two 45-pound barbells or weights on the end of another 45-pound bar, that becomes 225 pounds and not what the reporter here says of 220 pounds. And the record was 51 times for NFL record. Apparently this was a new record. Big Hungry was on his way to breaking that record when Henry shoved the bar down across his throat. Ryback was helped to the back. There were Phoebe Moore chants throughout the segment. The old record was 51 times, so 54 is the current and new record because it's being taped. And let's see if that is on ESPN. Match number 2, Daniel Bryan and Caitlyn with Kane defeated Dolph Ziggler and AJ Lee with Big E Langston. Ziggler's music hit and we're on our way to a mixed tag match. Ziggler took early control with a shoulder block. Caitlyn and AJ tagged in. AJ hit successful neck breakers. Bryan and Ziggler were tagged in and traded offense. Langston tried to interfere, but was taken out by Kane, who was taken out by Ziggler. In the end, Caitlyn speared AJ for the win. Then a video aired for the Shield stating that the team of Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show don't stand a chance. They said they would believe in the Shield. Match number 3, Jack Swagger with Zeb Coulter fought the Great Khali with Natalya and Hornswoggle to a double count out. Khali overpowered early with Swagger getting in a few shots. Swagger locked Khali in the Patriot lock outside and ignored the 10 count, resulting in a double count out. Afterwards, Ricardo came out to distract Swagger, who was ambushed by Alberto Del Rio, who sent Swagger and Coulter packing. A good pop for Ricardo and a better one for Del Rio. Next up, we had Sheamus coming out to a good pop, followed by Orton to a much bigger pop, followed by Big Show to a noticeably smaller pop. Of course, it had to be smaller because Big Show is awfully big. Rose Colors and Cesaro came out together. Sando tried to silence the crowd to a very negative effect. Match number 4, Randy Orton and Sheamus and Big Show defeated Cody Rhodes, Damien Sandow, Antonio Cesaro, and the 4th member, Cody Rhodes' mustache. Orton and Cesaro started things off with Randy taking an early advantage. Sheamus was tagged in and roughed up Cesaro a bit. Then Big Show and Cody tags in. Big Show, of course, dominated. Then Orton tagged in, back in and roughed up Cody some more. The mustache is wonderful so far. Hasn't interfered in the match. Cesaro tagged in and got some shots, but was double teamed by Orton and Sheamus. Sandow tagged in and traded offense with Sheamus. Orton came back in and took control. The heels took control for a while. I guess this is where Cody Rhodes' mustache got involved, isolating Orton in the corner. I believe that's a chokehold by his mustache. In the end, Sheamus made a hot tag and hit the brogue kick on Cody and the mustache for the win. After the match, Shield's music hit, and then they started to head down to the crowd. But Orton and company met them halfway up the stairs, and a fight ensued, with the Shield being sent packing to a thunderous pop. The Shield, this should be where SmackDown ends. Well, your dark match main event, so I guess they came back in. Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Ryback defeated the Shield by disqualification when Rollins brought in a chair. The faces hit the finishers to please the kids. And according to the reporter, biggest pops were rocked by a mile, Ryback and Randy Orton. And the most heat was John Laurinaitis and Zeb Coulter. And a second report for the main event tapings, dark match after last night, after the tapings. In Hershey, Pennsylvania, still haven't got my chocolate bar. Randy Orton and Ryback defeated the Shield by disqualification when they hit Ryback with a steel chair. They go to powerbomb Ryback on a steel chair, but Orton and Sheamus make the save. The babyfaces hit their finisher to end the show. And that ends the results for SmackDown main event, WWE main event, Saturday Morning Slam and Superstars. Thanks for viewing. Peace out. God bless.